Hi. For today's video, I thought we could look over some notable takeaways from the Josh Saunders and Gordon Ryan match. This was a grappling match and it was of the heavyweight division, and it was also Gordon Ryan's return back from an extensive time off, having dealt with medical issues. Watching this match was a real treat for me, and I think there are some things that happened very early that were of great strategic value. One was that before 5 minutes has even elapsed on this 15-minute match, Gordon Ryan pulled into a leg entanglement on Josh Saunders. This was cool because Josh Saunders, his opponent, had a 27-pound weight advantage over Gordon Ryan. And one thing that Josh Saunders could have thought to do was that he might have wanted to battle from this neutral position more. He might have wanted to wrestle and be heavy on Gordon Ryan so that Gordon Ryan might tire out and he could use that size. He could have been heavy on the head. He could have been shooting for singles and doubles and things like that. Another key feature that we should take into consideration is that John Danaher always says that Gordon Ryan is not a very fast athlete. So even if Josh Saunders is significantly heavier than his adversary, he's also going to be faster too. These two advantages could have played a great role in his success, and Gordon Ryan eliminating those advantages early was just not a great sign for Josh Saunders. Another thing that I thought was interesting is that it never went back to a neutral position. When this leg entanglement happened, and this basically initial tie-up, it never went back to a standing spot. It also never went back to a position where Josh Saunders could have actually initiated something. Gordon Ryan took his opponent's legs away with this first leg entanglement, and before 2 minutes have come to pass, he used this position to gain top control over his opponent. And this is also very neat because traditionally when we've seen leg entanglements, it's almost always been the person who pulls into a leg entanglement ends up being the grounded party. The other person gets on top of them. But nowadays, it's far more common for the person who attacks the legs to end up getting on top position. This makes our seated guard butt scooting things way more viable if we can pull into those situations, if we can crawl at someone, get into that leg position, wrap up their legs, take them down, and then we get on top. Wrestling might not have been in his favor since his opponent had such a weight advantage, but it would very much so be in Gordon Ryan's best interest to get top. In the top position, Gordon Ryan is in a half guard, and his opponent has his leg scissored across. This position isn't the worst for his opponent, and that it's a means for him to keep Gordon Ryan away. He has in one of Gordon Ryan's little instructionals what's known as an inside control. He has an inside control on using the lower half of his body, but what he needs is another inside control being the upper half. So he has a leg inside of Gordon's control points, but now he needs an arm. Josh Saunders does. And this is where things get interesting is Gordon Ryan is playing on top. He's standing up over Josh Saunders, who has this knee in place. And they are working from that position. And now from here, what we get is a pass eventually to side control. From this side control, it appears as if Gordon Ryan is looking more for a leg drag type entry. And he's not given up on leg attacks. He opened up with them, and it seems like he's going back to them because he finds this drag-like scenario. But ultimately, this scenario doesn't pan out because Ben Saunders manages to recover back his half guard. And it also eventually becomes a loop in that the same kind of knee across position happens for Gordon Ryan and Josh Saunders. They get into this standing up position where Josh Saunders has the knee across. From there, we're seeing a lot of fights with like cross faces and things of that nature, and an underhook battle as well. These positions are really good at depleting Josh Saunders. When Gordon Ryan attains a crossface, Josh Saunders needs to get out of this and get out of this means of control. And the commentators were saying that he was doing this by bench pressing. And of course, your bench press is going, if you're going to have to continually bench press someone off of you, then it's going to wear you down. Gordon Ryan has always been very good at depleting athletes and making sure they work harder than he is. But the cool thing about this fight is that he only had 15 minutes as opposed to his usual 30-plus minute contests. So he didn't have as much time to, he didn't have as much time to impose his game as he would like, as it's harder to tire someone out in 15 minutes than it is in 30 minutes. There's just not as much time for these back and forths to happen. Eventually, Gordon Ryan passes yet again, and from this position, he successfully looks for this leg drag option when he attains side control. He ends up bringing both legs into his control. So when Josh Saunders frees the leg that he initially attacked, Gordon Ryan could just open up and attack the other. And this is how he managed to win the contest. So, the thing that he opened with, the strategy he opened with, was also the strategy he ended with. And that kind of features in some of Gordon Ryan's matches, is that he really has something he wants to win with in mind. And he'll use this kind of thing as the old Gordon Ryan, before post all this new medical stuff, would always use his matches as a means of marketing his instructional material, because he used to give like a note to the commentators saying, open this when the match is won, and he would have called out what he won with. So he's very good at having a strategy in mind and following through with it. And the thing with Josh Saunders is that he never was able to impose his game. He was never given an opportunity to make an attack happen. He was always placed in these positions where he was far less dominant. And he had this half guard, which it wasn't even that great of a half guard, because for the most part, Gordon Ryan was standing up over Josh Saunders from this half guard, and then there would absolutely be no submissions for him to rattle off from this standing up opponent. Josh Saunders is best position was actually, besides neutral, it was actually a butterfly. But he was unable to do anything with it. It just happened for like a few seconds before this half guard position transpired again. But anyways, it was a very entertaining match, and it kind of shows to the power of being in first place in this instance, and that when we make an attack on someone, and we are the first to do so, this person might never be able to recover and make an attack back. Because from this match, when Gordon Ryan initially attacked those legs, forever afterwards, Josh Saunders was always on the defensive. Anyways, this has been our thoughts on this topic, and please let me know in the comments what you think. This is my first time doing more of a match analysis kind of video, and I'm sure I have some kinks and I need some points to work on. But thank you so much for watching, and please take care.